Growing controversy this morning surrounding prediction markets, aka popular online platforms where people can bet on future events.
Yeah, over the weekend, some users have placed wagers tied to the fate of Iran's supreme leader, sparking outrage and also questions about ethics, insider information, and whether platforms need stronger oversight.
Our chief business correspondent, Taylor Young, joining us right now. And Taylor, I think people are hearing this and they're thinking, wait a second, people can actually bet on something like a conflict or a death?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I think that reaction is why this story is getting so much attention right now. So on platforms like Kalshi or Polymarket, users can put real money behind whether they think an event is going to happen. We've talked about it on our morning show before, things like weather, elections, pop culture moments, even global events. Now, supporters argue it's just forecasting using money, but critics say it starts to feel a little uncomfortable when the events people are betting on involve war and human lives. So what's sparking this backlash is over the weekend, traders placed bets tied to the fate of Iran's supreme leader shortly before military developments unfolded in Iran. So one user trading under the name MAGA My Man made more than $550,000 after placing a bet that Iran's supreme leader would be out of power just before strikes killed him. Now, it's that timing that's raising serious concerns. It left many people wondering if the bet was made by someone within government who had insider knowledge the attack was coming. And on Polymarket alone, reports show bettors placed nearly $430 million in wagers on geopolitical events just last week. Now, right now, prediction markets, they do operate in a bit of a legal gray area. And following this event, there is a growing push for lawmakers to regulate what people can actually bet on. So already we've seen one senator from Connecticut saying he plans to introduce legislation regarding prediction markets, saying, quote, "It's insane. This is legal." So, guys, there is potential that regulations could come from this.
All right, Taylor, thank you. We want to bring in our chief legal analyst, Khalifa Rose, to kind of break this down, the legality of it. Khalifa, I want to start with this. The timing of it raises questions of government information, confidential government information being leaked out there. What are the legal responsibilities that a prediction market like Kalshi or Polymarket has to say, this is suspicious, I want to at least flag it?
Yeah, I mean, right now, regulation, I mean, what that congressperson is saying is I totally agree. This is the wild, wild west right now. It's not trading, right? It's not betting, I should say. It's trading. So they're regulated under the Commodities Future Trading Commission. And because it's a trade and not a bet, different regulatory authority. And so, yeah, you would think that this would be kind of like an insider trading activity. That's what it sounds like. But because it's so unregulated right now, I'm not sure where they would go in terms of accountability. And that's why you need Congress to step up with something like this. This is the clearest example of trying to build the plane and fly it at the same time. This market popped up. Folks recognize that there's a place where you can make money. They created these markets where you're betting on, I should say, trading on future events. And because you're trading on these future events, it doesn't qualify as a bet. And now you have to figure out, well, who's in charge? Right now, it seems like no one.
I think we can all agree we don't see anything wrong with people betting on maybe natural disasters, sporting events, trading, I should say. You know, who would win in politics and an election, something like that. But when it comes to death and conflict, a possible future war, does that cross an ethical line? And who's the judge of that?
You would think that there would be some type of morality conflict, right? But the reason I overemphasize trading and not betting is because if you're working in their risk department, that's what you're saying. You don't want to be in the same place as DraftKings or one of those companies. You want to say we're trading, and because we're trading, there's a different regulations. We don't have to go through this gaming and sports betting on the state level and then the federal level. We want to come under this category, but yes, even if they are placed under that category, you think they would have some limitations on what you could trade on, but I just don't know how you draft something like this. And so I think they're going to need some smart folks in the room to figure out what the regulations look like and then what kind of pushback you'll get. But I overemphasize, there is really no one regulating this right now.
Okay, so if you're a lawyer for Polymarket or Kalshi, what is your defense with a law coming in and saying, we're going to heavily regulate you, and here's why. What are you saying of why you shouldn't be regulated?
I'd say point to historical justifications on why you can regulate it. Additionally, I'd point to probably some free speech type of things. If I have an ability to talk about it and say it, what's stopping me from placing some type of future, and what distinguishes the two, right? If I can place a trade on the futures of oil and oranges and anything else, what's the difference between the future outcome of some event, the unlikely event of a war or a death? That's the argument that I would make, and I would force the court to be able to show what the distinguishing factor is.
All right, again, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, weighing in on that for us. Khalif, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.